Okay, hey, back with another response to another response. My goodness. So this is the original comment, and then my reply is below. Just let you read those. I don't need to read those back. So basically, the thesis I'm thinking I'm getting from this commenter, who I've seen in a couple different channels and videos, like, hey, I love your comments everywhere, and I'm glad that you left this, because I think, you know, as a criticism of myself in this channel so far, is sometimes I think fashion I can talk, and I have a lot to say, and I'm trying to cover all these points, and then one other thing pops into my head, and I'm like, you know, Tasmanian deviling all through a lot of points and arguments and things that come to mind. So when asked why, until if you see the comment, that reply that's sent below, you know, I hear a response back. What I guess I'm asking is why. So I guess the presumption is, why am I like being so critical of vibranium and the science in Black Panther versus any other Marvel film, you know, Fantasyland, you know, mental escape? Well, I'm going to try to keep this very short, at least for now. You know, all it's time for revisiting, because I like her reply just in case of, like, there's something I'm missing, and, like, yeah, I don't want to, you know, cast any aspersions or feel like I'm missing something, because it's great having people feedback. And this actually ties immediately right back into the original video from Davis M.J. Rooney, when he's calling white men who go to see Star Wars and they're dancing around with lightsabers, he calls them cucks. And as I previously said in the last video, it's different for majority white societies, excuse me, out of a 40-hour work week usually predominantly, the type of societies, whether it's from your mid-tier white working class, lower middle income up and above, to have an hour and 30 minutes of escapism. One of the big reasons why Wonder Woman, somebody can go watch Wonder Woman, and that whole phantasm of very subtle undertones of this kind of white woman gold girl power versus Thor with his magical flying hammer. Majority white societies in the West, and in the West, I'll specify that particularly because there are areas of Europe and even parts of America where more downwardly mobile, not as affluent, or reaching a certain, you know, tier, certain standard of living, where whites don't have time for this escapism, they can do that. When a white woman goes to see Wonder Woman, or a white guy goes see Thor, and they kind of, you know, I guess LARP, live action role play LARP, in these kind of like fantasy escapisms, they get time to do that. But for Black women, just particularly, when we're done LARPing as Wakandans in Black Panther, we come back to a reality of a stat that's been thrown out that might have some wiggle room in terms of numbers, but the general consensus that there's a lot of rape, molestation, and sexual abuse and verbal abuse of Black women and girls. Some say 60%, could be less, could be a little bit more. That's what we come back to after LARPing as Wakandans. When you look at the murder statistics in Chicago's, your Baltimore's, your Detroit's, or what have you, for young Black men and boys, that's what you come back to in reality after LARPing as Wakandans in a movie like Black Panther. The big thing with vibranium that I found a little bit tedious was just the kind of catch-all fantasy of it. I was thinking, could it just have been this like bulb flower that grows, that is kind of a hallucinogenic, that allows you to, like, there's a lot of, you see throughout history, like different types of combinations of plants or herbs you can take to revisit the past, teleport, go into an altered state of consciousness, or what have you. That in itself is one thing. A very separate thing would also been, it's this natural plant bulb extract that grows, that allows you, that's an alternate source of energy that can power like a very kind of light high speed rail, as you saw in Wakanda, especially in the very final fight scene between T'Challa and Killmonger. the whole catch-allness, I know that's not a word, but the kind of catch-all of vibranium in this film just felt very layered and very heavy. And again, you know, we're not just black people living in this world by ourselves. We're living with whites and other non-white peoples who see our day-to-day stats, who see the way that we live, the way we treat each other, the things that black women are put through, the things that, you know, black men are put through as well, and the children, boy and girl aside, go through. A movie that was just this Marvel comic-y, this stilted, this full of all this flash and glam special effects, just kind of felt itself to be very loaded compared to the lived-in real experience that we live in. You know, I'm just going to be very stereotypical here. Becky and Matt can go live in a fantasy, and like the video that this came from, the early response of, you know, when the other commenter said, oh, it's like white guys going to see a James Bond movie. Yeah, you know, there's a little bit of like fantasy to it, but there's also lived, real, concrete examples. Not of some like super master, big brain assassin dude in real life, but you know, if you were to go to your local FBI or CIA office, you'd probably see quite a few, you know, white men of some age, ages of 35 to like 65 and above. If you were to go out and see that, it would have some type of tangible lived-in experience. With Black Panther and Wakanda and the overhyped science in it, it's not really science, it's just fantasy. And when you have such real lived statistics that we inhabit as black people right now, and various people of sub-Saharan African descent across the planet, it just felt very heavy and very smattered on like molasses. But anywho, that's kind of like a tangential response. If I get, you know, another follow-up to the original comment, I'll come back. Otherwise, I'm just going to leave that right here for now. I was actually planning to make 2 more videos tonight, and I'm going to see if I can get that done. So, talk to you later. Thanks.